Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia, taught Neville Goddard the Solomon code of 153 to build the real temple for abundance and prosperity. Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, a pleasure, honor to be here greeting you and always bring this message of emancipation to you, whereby I'm pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. That is why I want to speak to you concerning Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia, Neville Goddard mentor, who actually taught Neville Goddard the Solomon code of 153 to build the true temple of humanity by teaching them how to get on the 153 frequency. Now, we all know about the television, we know about the radio, and these things are used because of the long range frequency of 153, and this frequency of 153 is what would bring you into that place of being like a genius. It is coming to understand your higher self. It is coming to realize that the system had you in a ship, which is your body, and also a way of thinking that actually had you in a place of limitation, and in a place of lack, and in a place of not knowing the power that you possess. But when you come to that Christ consciousness, or that frequency of 153, which is the frequency that holds 3, 6, and 9, which is actually the secret of the universe that beams you to the sun, then you will realize that when you read this story in St. John chapter 21, you have to omit the Jesus story to understand this 153 frequency, especially if you are a melanated person like me who will start to vibrate in a frequency of stupidity, in a frequency of slavery mentality, in terms of you looking outwardly instead of looking inwardly. So through physical slavery, you were dehumanized and were kept in your monkey brain, which is the chattering brain, whereby you were never given time to think for yourself and to tap in to that frequency through meditation to create your reality consciously. So Abdullah was bringing back the remembrance of that frequency to activate our DNA, to understand how we used to beam that frequency to the sun and be connected to the sun. That is why at this time the 153 frequency have to be known, and be known to the world that it holds the 369 frequency, that even the computer, the internet, all of these things, they're running on that same frequency. And you are beyond the computer, because the computer is the creation and you are the creator. You are the perceiver beholding the perception. And that is why in this time of the Great Awakening, where they formulate things like coronavirus and all of these things and trying to bring vaccination to slow the people down even more and to keep the people in further control, the 153 frequency code, which is the Solomon code, must be known right now. Now, the whole mystery of 153 is throughout the Bible. But you have to understand that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history. But unfortunately, most people like me believe that the Bible is literal and that the Bible is secular history. Therefore, they have been kept in the frequency of stupidity, as I would have said before. And so, when you understand that Solomon is the sun in man, you will realize when that sun arises in you and it brings forth that dawning of a new day, it is a beaming out and a connection that brings you into a certain intelligence. And that intelligence would guide you into where you should cast your net, where should you cast your ideas, your dreams, your goals, and what frequency. So when you understand this kind of frequency of 153 and understand that it's a stargate, it's a portal, that you have to come up to 9 levels before you can contact that intelligence, then you will realize what Abdullah was really doing to Neville Goddard and why he was really teaching Neville Goddard this truth. And that is why many who are teaching the law of attraction and want to get you to vibrate at the law of attraction, they don't want you to really vibrate and the message of self-realization. Many who are speaking about Nikola Tesla at this time, when Nikola Tesla done dead and gone, and those who speak about Neville Goddard when he done dead and gone too, they think they want you to vibrate higher. No, they don't. If it was some other person speaking right now about the 153 code and open up these things, we have been on a pedestal. This that I'm speaking here right now would have been known all around the world. But you see, there's always an agenda to keep a people from knowing that their true identity is their divinity. To understand that there's no God outside of themselves and that they were brainwashed. So my brothers and my sisters, just as Abdullah pointed Neville to look inwardly, so too I'm pointing you to look inwardly to get on the 153 frequency, because everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. So poverty and riches are all frequencies. So you can be on the frequency of poverty, or you can be on the frequency of riches, abundance, and prosperity. But I have to speak the truth. Those who took our ancestors, capture them, and enslave them, they make sure they use an educational system and a religious system, a political system also, to keep the people in mental slavery. But this is the time that the Ark of the Covenant have returned, because the return of the Ark of the Covenant is the return of the I, which is the I in man. So a people was throwing their net all the time on the wrong side, because they were throwing the net on that side without the I. But when the I appeared on the scene, the I was able to point them in the right direction where to throw the net. And it says that the net was filled with fishes, ideas, dreams, goals, right understanding, clarity of mind. all of these things. So my brothers and my sisters, this is the time. This is the age. This is the time of the great awakening. This is the time of the great catch of 153. When you catch the mystery that it holds 369, and you understand that all the architects, all the builders that built the Temple of Solomon was 153, and it gives you that code. And this is how we must build our true temple, which is the innermost being, where we must be in touch with the source. And that is why also Abdullah taught Neville first the law, and then he break into the promise. But I experienced the promise first before I ever practice any law. That's why I know when they teach you law of attraction and teach you to go after the getting instead of the being, they're misleading you. Because remember, if you seek ye first the kingdom of God's righteousness, when you seek first the kingdom and you discover the kingdom first, all these things will be added unto you. So you have to seek to know thyself first. So when I speak of the Solomon code, I'm speaking of a code of intelligence. I'm speaking of a code of abundance. I'm speaking of a code of self-knowledge. I'm speaking of a code that was known to our ancestors down throughout the ages, way back to antiquity. I'm speaking about the code that built the pyramids and the Sphinx. And Abdullah taught Neville that they would not be able to unravel the mystery of the Sphinx, because the Sphinx has a face of a nigger. So these things must be known in these times. There must be one who will come forth around these times and bring this message of enlightenment to humanity. That's why, my brothers and my sisters, my encouragement to you is get on board if you haven't gotten on board with this 153 code. Because I'm going to teach you this 153 code from all different angles and show you it's the key to the universe, and show you this was hidden but it's being made known now. Because it is said that knowledge shall increase in these times. And those who are teaching about consciousness, and we know that Abdullah taught Neville Goddard the law of consciousness. I mean, I have to be real. I'm looking for someone who's speaking of consciousness and speaking about the law of rhythm and explain slavery for me. If there's a law of rhythm and what goes so gonna come back so, I would like someone. Because there are many people speaking the law of consciousness. Oh, we are one. And come on. Let's be real. Let's speak about these universal laws and fit slavery in that for me. Fit the Jesus and Mary story in there for me when it was taught to a people as if it is secular history. And I don't want no one tell me, well, all of us was taught to believe in Jesus and all of us brainwashed. It's not true. If I believe in an idol or a picture or a portrait that looks like me, even if I believe it's a man 2,000 years ago, I am not brainwashed or deceived because I believe in my own image and likeness. But when people were made not to believe in their own image and likeness, someone have to come and speak the truth and say, look, you've been brainwashed to look outside of yourself, not to believe in your own image and likeness. So do not believe everybody was brainwashed. Everybody wasn't brainwashed. There are certain people who was brainwashed. And that is why the 153 code, which is really the Solomon code, the Sun in Man code, that's the Sun in Man code. That's the code to link us back to the sun. That's the Ark of the Covenant. This is time of rejoicing. That the Ark of the Covenant have returned. The goddess have returned with power, dominion, and authority to bring a message of intelligence to all of humanity. That's why I'm pointing each and everyone to look inwardly to discover that their real identity is their divinity. And if you haven't joined me with the 153 challenge, I'm encouraging you to join me with the 153 challenge and get on board. Let us bring our energy together. And it is open to anyone, even those who doesn't even look like me. Because I know at the end of the day that we all are transmitters and receivers of energy and frequency. And I know that none of us could live without getting that source or that power from the source of our life, which is the Son, who is the giver of our life. That's why I always say to you, do not let anyone in this world deceive you by making you believe that the eye above the pyramid is an evil symbol. No, it is the symbol of the all-seeing eye of God in you, with your imagination. For you will have an awakened imagination, and you'll come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. And that's why I want to give you the symbol of the single eye, saying to you according to Matthew 6:22, that if your eye be single, your whole body be full of light. I'm saying to you, my brothers and my sisters, that light is the light of the sun. It's the sunlight. It's the sun in you, because there's a sun in you. There's a sun above you. There's a sun beneath you. And that's where the tree comes in the 153. I know exactly what I'm speaking about. It is grace that has come to you, and you need to activate in faith. And you need to use the one energy, the one frequency. Everything depends on that frequency. And that frequency comes from the S-U-N. That is why I always put my hand above my crown chakra, saying to you that when you have the experience, that you will come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that is the dawning of a new day in your life. For the sun parallels the human imagination, the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, as in the S-U-N, there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you are told in Psalm 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And the sun has never withheld any good thing from humanity, for the sun is what powers all of humanity. Therefore, my brothers and my sisters, also, in Malachi chapter 4 verses 2, you are told that the sun, as in the S-U-N, of righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. And truly, the sun has risen in me with healing. And I'm bringing that healing to all of humanity, by pointing each and everyone to look inwardly to discover that their real identity is their divinity. That's the reason why I say to you, to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire by understanding the 153 code, which is the code of Solomon that Abdullah taught Neville Goddard to achieve his every desire. Use it as I give it to you. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all,